From LA Late headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LA Late.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. Those four stimulus checks have gone out. Congratulations to the members of this channel who have gotten it. $15,000 to $80,000 of checks. I'll go over how to get those four stimulus checks that have now landed. And those MSC checks have gone out. Yes, monthly stimulus checks. It's huge. I'm going to go over where to get those big sums of money. And then we turn to the breaking news. The president going overseas to Brussels to meet with the European leadership of Western allies for six stimulus, heating up across the board. And then a shocker, as the Federal Reserve Jay Powell head spoke today and the day before about your interest rates. And guess what? He's changing. He said he was going to do a quarter basis point for a while, but now he thinks that it may not be enough. What does it mean for your SS300? Boy, breaking, developing details. Then we'll be looking at that subvariant of COVID that is called the subvariant of Omicron now in the United States. This is why Joe Biden is coming back with another, yes, CR. We'll go over the latest details and why there's an opportunity to get money in there as well. Then we'll be looking at the Build Back Better, still getting better as it's being built upon. Those three clusters of checks and those additional, yes, additional IRS MSC checks in this as well. Great details as the membership of this channel has really won in the last 14 days. Cleaning up with receiving in hand MSC checks from third stimulus. Upwards of 12 months of $1,500 checks. Cleaning up with fourth stimulus checks in their hands. Upwards of $80,000 across the board. We'll go over why this has happened and how sixth stimulus is heating up because of Putin. It's the latest stimulus package and will be the biggest you've seen of a generation. All happening at the same time as third and fourth. It's a big breaking details news. For March 22nd, 2022, the details for the shores of Santa Monica to the shores of the Black Sea heats up with the latest financial news and a preview of tonight's big show in primetime Evenings LA. But first, this is Afternoons. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day and hope the weather is good where you are. And congratulations on the members of this channel who have now cleaned up and received their third stimulus MSC checks. We'll go over the latest details on that. And then the other members who have cleaned up with receiving their fourth stimulus checks in hands, while the rest of them have their applications in and it's confirmed complete. We'll go over the latest details on those success stories and how you can be among them. We'll be looking at the Build Back Better Act and the next stimulus package that's likely to become a law, sixth stimulus. Wow. This is Putin's stimulus, and we'll be looking to Brussels because this is where it formulates as the president meets with those economic leaders to talk about sixth stimulus package. Because of inflation, Jay Powell is now coming in with potential stronger interest rates. What? It was less than a week ago he said we're staying at a quarter. So now he's signaling maybe we need to do more because of the concerns that he may come in too strong and send us into recession. Boy, folks, we have a big broadcast today. But first, of course, we're going to start with the Build Back Better Act. The fourth stimulus recon, the meat and potatoes. It's not a law, but will become a law, and it has about $15,000. It's different than those four stimulus checks that have landed. More about that in a second. Build Back Better has 15 to 80,000. Yeah, it's the same number, so it's a little bit duplicative, but these are additional checks. $15,000 to $80,000 across three clusters and three add-ons. We'll learn about these checks in primetime on America's most watched show for financial news in primetime. It's Evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock. But first, let's just broadly go over these three clusters and three add-ons in the Build Back Better Act. Hazard pay and $4,000 of elder care, the $4,000 of the care for young children, the CTC one more year, then the Pell Grant, then the college students, and the free $12,500 for the purchase of your electric car. Then Maxine Waters coming in with that first add-on, a little bit less than $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. Huge. Then we go into the second cluster, home repairs to weatherize your home. This is addition to the home repairs in the first cluster for low income, and then paid leave. Wow, that is $4,000 to $6,000. We're not done there yet. That's just the second cluster. The second add-on of checks is the $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disability. Let's grab the graphic. There it is. Huge. Less than $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. And then we go to that third cluster, checks, seniors, and free internet. Farmers checks, independent contractors checks, and then lots of checks for my seniors, which involve some on the House and some on the Senate. Collectively, dental checks, vision checks, hearing checks, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55, and then the Medicaid gap fix by providing a workaround plan to the 12 Republican holdout states that never had insurance for people in their state. And that, of course, tees up what else would the senators add to that forced stimulus recon of the Build Back Better? Yes, MSC. Now let's slow it down for a second. Build Back Better is a bill passing by Congress, and they vowed to add in there a monthly IRS stimulus check. It's different than the other MSC check, which I'm about to go over in a second. So which one is this one? Monthly. $2,000 the first month for $1,000 thereafter is what the senators represent. That would pay out the same as a third stimulus check. To go over those details, tune in tonight for E-News LA as I go over the Build Back Better fourth stimulus MSC checks. But what you need to know is that the other MSC checks, yes, other, from third stimulus have gone out right now. It's huge. Let's slow it down again. Two different MSCs. Fourth stimulus, Build Back Better, bill to be done by Congress, not law yet. But third stimulus MSCs, not by Congress, actually is law. I misstated that. Is by Congress, but is law. It's third stimulus passed last year and paying out the members of this channel in the last 2 weeks. Huge payouts. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter? No. Take that number and just balloon it enormous amount. It's coming up later in this video. Yes, congratulations to the members of this channel who have gotten their third stimulus MSC checks. And as a preview, they're getting on average 1 year of $1,500 a month. 12 checks, not 6 checks. But let's take a preview of what's happening later in this recording. We'll go over also the big fourth stimulus checks. Yes. Now this is where I want to slow it down for you again. Fourth stimulus, Build Back Better, not law, but an ancillary piece of legislation that is about this map is law because it did not come from Congress. It came from the White House. That's coming up later in this video, and viewers have gotten it. $60,000, yes. $15,000 to $80,000, yes. It's coming up later in this video. But first, let's get a preview and a recap of what happened last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they passed a continuing resolution. It did not repurpose the $1.5 trillion of discretionary spending as a federal stimulus check, but they got county stimulus in there. I don't have the ability to record on for everyone's county across the board, but there's county stimulus in there. But there's going to be another ride at the pony horse. Why? Because Joe Biden wants more money. A subvariant of COVID called the subvariant of Omicron has been confirmed in the United States. It's sending China on potential lockdown. It's trouble. And Joe Biden wanted more money for COVID in that CR. He did not get it. So he's coming back for more money in another spending bill. That would be in another few weeks or few days. I'll have the latest update as soon as he does it across the board. But where are we on the landscape? What's paying right now? What's paying thereafter? What's paying right now is those third stimulus MSC checks coming up later in this video. Stay with me. The fourth stimulus add-on checks, $15,000 to $80,000. Stay with me. They're coming up next. And then what would happen right after that, or about the same time, around April, is 6 stimulus coming up later in this video, and SS300, which we're going to go over right now. What is SS300? It is the president's promise to swap out COLA for inflation. Not just a campaign promise, also presidential platform. Swapping out for COLA for inflation, why does it need to be done sooner rather than later? Because inflation's coming down. Inflation's tracking at 8% for the month of December, month of January. I've been predicting this since last year, when the Fed head, Jay Powell, predicted inflation would be 1 to 2% and transitory. Ugh, one of those words I couldn't stand. Transitory, temporary. I said, I don't buy it. It's going to be 8%. It's not going to be temporary. Well, guess what? Jay Powell, big miss. Big miss. It came in at 8% and it wasn't transitory because now we have 2 more months of it. In fact, the bond traders think we're having it right now. They think in the month of March, we're still at 8%. So what happened? Jay Powell has the ability to reduce inflation, according to his playbook, not my playbook, by raising interest rates. How does he do it? 5 meetings, 5 months. How big? 2 options. Half, which is also called 25 basis point, or excuse me, quarter, 25, or half, which is called 50 basis point or 0.50. He had given us guidance a month ago that said this meeting, the March meeting, which happened last week, it would be a quarter. And he stayed a quarter because he thinks it's fine until he needs to go higher. That was last week. Then, over the weekend, 2 Fed governors, Wallace, Bullard, and others said, you know what? I don't think that's right. We should have done a half this last week. It's too weak. There's 2 ways to approach it. Hard landing, soft landing. Hard landing means you come in really hard at the front end, and then you soften up later thereafter. Soft landing means you start soft, and then you build later on if you have to. So Jay Powell said, I'm going to do soft landing. Everyone on Wall Street said, do soft landing. I said, do soft landing. Why? You don't want to come in too hard on this economy because guess what? You'll blow it up. You'll send us into stagflation. Businesses will shrink, the economy will shrink, and everyone's inflation won't be solved. So that's why everyone said, do soft landing, and he did it last week. And then yesterday he said, no, maybe I should do hard landing. What? Yeah, he changed overnight. He says, maybe I have to do half basis point indefinitely if quarter is not working. Let's recap. He didn't say he is doing half. He says maybe. But enough analysts think in that language, it suggests he's going to do it in April. What is important for you? It's important for you that Joe makes a phone call. Hashtag Joe make the call. Swap out that color for inflation right now because guess what? If you swap an eye right now, you're locking about $200 a month a lifetime. If you wait to have Jay Powell reduce inflation from 8 to, let's say, 6%, then you're locking at $175 more per month, or $150 more per month. You don't want to wait. And guess what? Jay Powell's trying to get inflation to not 4% later this year. Oh, boy, 1 to 2%. That's not $100 later this year, SS 300. That's like $35, SS 235. So you want that swap from coal and inflation happening right now. It's huge. It's very important. Now, what is my analysis of the situation? My analysis of the situation is that a lot of Wall Street insiders and financial analysts, and I'm agreeing with them, thinks that Jay Powell does not have the opportunity to reduce inflation, despite whatever he does with interest rates. Who thinks about this? Well, Wall Street is, because that's why the stock market's up. They don't think he has the ability to do it. You're going to see Jay Powell, I'm giving you a prediction, you're going to see Jay Powell talk about this a lot more than you ever did before, because Jay Powell thinks that his best way to do this is by talking rather than the actual interest rate spikes. Guess what? That's what the analysis says, that he's not going to reduce inflation by raising interest rates. Why? Because inflation is being caused by supply chain disruption from China and from Russia, and he can't fix that. If that's the case, we're good for that SS 300 through late April, because Joe could still make the swap. Inflation won't drop to 5% by late April. But you have to be cautious, so hashtag Joe make the call. Across the board, that SS 300, how does it work? Once you lock in that higher rate, you have that higher rate of generation, not just this month, not just this year. So if you're locked in $200 more per month right now, you're good to go. Now, if you're new to this channel, let me explain what's important to understand. Everything that I record has specificity and detail, so you must follow exactly like I say. There's not an altered universe or a version other than what I'm recording, so don't add anything into the equation or take away something from the equation. Why is that important? Because coming up at the second half of this video, we have those third stimulus checks, those MSCs to land in your hand. We have those fourth stimulus checks that are landing in your hand. And then we have 6 stimulus. Now let's get a preview. When we're looking at stimulus packages on this channel, if you're new here, one package does not go before the other because of its numbering system. That's just the numbering system I use on this channel. 3rd and 4th are happening right now. 6 will happen as early as April. So it'll overlap. 5th, which is for my beneficiaries, your reform of the system, that's coming after 6. Yeah, 5th after 6. And Build Back Better Act likely after 6. Very interesting across the board. But how do you get these incredible monies? Boy, it's coming up in the second half of this video. We're going to go over those MSC checks. We're going to go over that from third stimulus. We're going to go over those fourth stimulus checks that have now landed. We're going to go over the sixth stimulus that are the topic of discussion in Brussels. And we're going to do a preview of tonight's evening's LA broadcast in prime time. Boy, we have a big show tonight. We're just getting started, and then we'll go over everything you need to know to recap in a big day where there's a lot of money happening. The excitement's here, and we're just getting started. If you haven't become a member during the commercial break to get ready to get that incredible newsletter. See you back in 60 seconds with all these incredible checks as Afternoons LA for March 22nd, 2022 continues. See you back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page and everything you need to know across the board. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on a big Afternoons LA. In the second half, we'll go over those MSC checks that have now landed from third stimulus in people's hands. We'll be looking at those fourth stimulus checks that have also landed in people's hands. And then we'll be looking at sixth stimulus, oil, wheat, grain, soybeans, Putin-caused stimulus, and what's being done with it, why this meeting of the world leaders of this week is all about six stimulus. Boy, we have a big second half. But first, I hope you became a member during the commercial break to get an incredible newsletter Monday through Friday via the YouTube alert system at 7 o'clock. Well, let's start first in the big second half with that fourth stimulus checks. Boy, what an exciting day it is, and it could be any more exciting if a light breaks during this recording. I just smell a little bit of smoke, so if you see an explosion, it may be one of the light on the studio exploding. So do not be alert, and I'm giving you the pre-warning. Hopefully it explodes after I stop the recording. So here we go. Fourth stimulus recon. What do you need to know? Well, fourth stimulus recon, Build Back Better Act, bill, not a law. Fourth stimulus add-on from the president is law. It's from the president. It's not from Congress. And it went live 3 weeks ago yesterday. Announced by the president the day before on a Friday. It is an ancillary piece of legislation done by the president, not by Congress. Payout $15,000 to $80,000. And you can get it. The great news is the membership of the channel has gotten it. Viewers like Mark have gotten $66,000 plus dollars, and others have gotten the monies, which span from $15,000 to $80,000. And then others have gotten their application on file and have been told it's complete. They're getting paid. So again, what is this? Let's go over all the incredible details right now. If you're a member, you got it first. It was announced by the President of the United States in a very buried news statement no less than 3 weeks ago. And as soon as it was announced that Friday, I put it into the membership newsletter. The members are told immediately, because that's the benefit of membership, getting the money before anyone else. They got their application on file, and now they're getting paid. It's been live now for 3 weeks and a day. So you want to listen, take notes, and get that application on file right away and become a member to get that newsletter, get the application on file. How much? $15,000 to $80,000, number one. What is it? It's a homeowner's grant for homeowners. If you're a renter, I got money for you. MSC checks in just a second. The complete name of the grant is featured in the membership newsletter. Yes, it's a grant. It's not a loan. So it is not income. It's not taxable. Would not disqualify you from benefits. It's not income. And it's not a loan. You don't have to do a credit check across the board. The eligibility is just like a third stimulus check. Single individual, 75,000 or less, you can get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, you can get it. You don't double or triple it like a stimulus check. It's 15 to 80,000 per household. Now, if you own a home and you're within the income zone, you can get it. And you can also get it if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. So how do you get it? You become a member. The membership link's at the top of the chat and under the pinned comment. You become a paying member of this channel and you get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, sent via the YouTube alert system to you. And in that membership newsletter, first, you'll have the name of the grant. It is longer than the homeowner's grant. That's a shortened name. It's not the complete correct name. Then you'll have the eligibility, what it pays for, not covering this according. It's great stuff for the home, including property taxes and home repairs. Then it'll have everything you need to know about eligibility, the program, and then it'll have the link. The link will send you right into the government's website, which then will send you into your state's website. And with that, you need to bounce. Viewership of the channel membership of the channel have bounced, and they have gotten the application of the file over the last 3 weeks. Here's what you need to know. You need to get the application on file as quickly as possible. You need to become a member, get that YouTube alert Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get the application on file. Because it's been 3 weeks and a day, and every day, hundreds, thousands of people in your state get in front of you. That's the first thing. Second thing, don't think about it. Don't wait. Get the application file. Number 3, don't look around and see if someone's saying, don't, maybe, yes, oh, by the way, this. No. Between me and the application on the website, just pounce. Don't think about anything else. There will definitely be someone says, before you apply, you have to get a Big Mac. Before you apply, you have to drop your script on set. Before you apply, you have to get a I Love Ukraine shirt. No. Just apply. Every day you wait, you drag it out. The membership newsletter is sent via the YouTube alert system. YouTube alert systems send it out to you by automation Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system. It's not sent by email. It's not sent by the LA Late alerts. It's not sent out by Horse and Buddy or Waveable Check. In that membership newsletter, you'll go down, you'll see it within the first few lines. It'll say the grant, I'll have a link, and you'll go right in there. You want to make sure all your alerts on this channel are set to all notifications, so you get all notifications. If you got a notification for YouTube about this video, you have it set correctly. There's a bell at the front of the channel. Hit it to all, so you get all alerts from this channel. Do not have it set to specialized or personalized. And there you go. That is the big 4th stimulus checks, which have now gone out. I'll have more about these incredible checks in prime time on Evenings LA. Now let's go into those MSC checks. Wow. This may be confusing for some, but I'm going to slow it down. As said earlier in this video, MSC checks have gone out and viewers have gotten it. They have gotten them. They are not from 4th stimulus. They are from 3rd stimulus. 3rd stimulus was last year. 4th stimulus is not law yet. But the great news is the membership of the channel have gotten more than the 4th stimulus would ever pay out. It does not mean that 4th stimulus is not being paid out. Those MSC checks, this is in addition to all those. So these are 3rd stimulus MSC checks. 4th stimulus MSC checks are on the horizon. So let's go over these. The viewership, the members of this channel have cleaned up, and boy, they aren't getting $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. No, they're getting fortunes. 150,000, 200,000, 80,000, 15,000, 25,000, 35,000. They're getting a lot more than Congress ever represented they would give you under 4th stimulus. Here's some examples. Lindsay Ramirez getting 12 months at $1,500 a month. Then we have Olivia Summers, who's getting 3 years of 4 checks across the board. 3 years of checks, which amount to $150,000. I think I said that wrong. 4 years of checks. It's just every time I look at it, I've heard, oh, those 2, those, no, it's $150,000 of checks for 48 months. 48 months is 4 years. It's not 3 years. Incredible. Insane. David Allen getting 9 months at $1,500. Bean getting 9 months at, which amounts to $16,000. So that's about $2,000 a month at $1,800. Annabelle, she's getting 6 months of stimulus checks. Then Michelle Posey getting 3 months. We've had success story after success story. This started about 2 weeks ago. What happened? I had always been getting people this money. It's third stimulus. Before that, it was that sort of leftover money that I first got viewers on this channel. Let's take it back to December 2020. In December 2020, there wasn't a lot of money out there. I said you needed money. It was the winter. And I showed you how to get money for rent, utilities, and mortgages and similar things. Renters and homeowners. Yes, it's renters and homeowners. Then I had a preview of what third stimulus was going to have in there. And I said, oh my goodness, it's the same thing, but it's a lot more of it. It's now a year and a half, and third stimulus still has this pot of money. It's for renters. It's for homeowners. And you want to do everything I'm about to show you. It's available everywhere. You don't have to be behind on your bills. You just have to pounce. You need to make lots of phone calls. As Johnny, who I used to feature on this channel, got, I think it was $80,000. He made 15 phone calls, had 50% no's, but 50% yes. He then helped, I think it was 15 people get $300,000 by showing them the same thing. You're going to get a no. Don't get one no and stop. That's not how you do it. You pounce as a purple hawk. So where do you get this money? Open that membership newsletter. It's featured in there across the board, but you don't have to become a member. You just have to listen and learn. I'm going to show you the graphic. I hope you have a pen and paper ready. We're going to go over where to get those big sums of money starting right now. Remember, when you get those big sums of money, you need to push. Don't make one phone call and call it a day. Are you ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. 3 things you must do. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get multiple applications to file, and you must do multiple rounds. That's what I said up to a week ago. I used to say a round was 3 to 5 months. Well, guess what? It's no longer the case. Why? Because the membership of this channel took it up a notch. Let's take a step back. I got members from the third stimulus, a round of these monies, last spring, 3 to 4 months. Last summer, 3 to 4 months. Last winter, 3 to 4 months. And I have been recording just a week ago, get another 3 to 4 months. Suddenly, one after another of the members of this channel said, who needs 3 to 4 months? Let's get a year. Let's get 2 years. Let's get 3 years. Suddenly, they were getting themselves an MSC check. Actually, better than an MSC check, which was only going to give you 6 months, is to give you 6 months under Build Back Better. Now they're getting themselves 12 months, 24 months. So this is why things have changed so quickly. So instead of doing multiple rounds, try to get these big sums of money. And again, you're going to reach out to these incredible 6 places. It's not an application on a website that you just press a button and you get a check in your hand. It is an effort you need to make, like Johnny did, who made 15 phone calls, got 50% rejection, but also got $80,000 of MSC checks. Like Olivia, who got $150,000. You don't have to be a member. You just have to listen. Remember, you have to pounce across the board. Membership have been getting these sums of checks since last year. So let's continue. While rounds is no longer needed, you need to open that membership newsletter. It features in there the 6 places you reach out to. You must reach out to all 6 places. Now, the membership newsletter also features the nonprofits. So remember, you got 6 places to reach out to. You got 5 nonprofits in the membership newsletter. That's 15 places. Until you've reached out to 15 places, you haven't done it all. You reach out to one and stop. No, that's not the way we do it. Then, incredible news is that the average view of this channel has gotten 45,000, but the number's growing very quickly, folks. In the last few days, viewers have gotten a lot more. Pounce today. Don't wait. And this, my friends, is your third stimulus MSC checks before fourth stimulus becomes a law. Fourth stimulus still would have the opportunity to get those MSC checks. Now, 6 stimulus. Wow, 6 stimulus heating up at the same time, and it would likely happen as early as April. Why? 6 stimulus is for Putin. First was for COVID. Second was to be for COVID. Third is coming out of COVID. Fourth is coming out of COVID. Fifth is for beneficiaries. But 6 is for Putin. It's Putin-caused stimulus, and we need it because if we don't have it, guess what? We go into, let's see the graphic, yes, the R word, recession. You don't want to go into recession and notice anyone else or our partner allies. Why do we need it? Because there's big economic crises brewing, and that while we may solve one item, Putin could send our economies into recession. Remember, if the U.S. doesn't go into recession, but France or Germany does, then they drag us in recession thereafter. What are the prongs of this sixth stimulus? They are gasoline. They are wheat. They are the commodities like nickel and corn. They are the banking industry that all need to be protected. And what's at issue? That meeting this week. The President of the United States is meeting overseas this week for the sixth stimulus package. They're not going to use the word six. They're going to call it the meeting of Brussels, March 23rd and March 24th, to meeting with the NATO allies, the G7, and the European Union leaders. Why? Because guess what? They all got to get off of Putin items. And today we're going to see more of those breaking details in prime time. Number one is Hungary. One of the countries says, no, I'm too dependent on Russia. I'm not getting off of it, and I'll veto any attempt. Oh boy. Now let me explain to you the nuances of this. It started with Anthony Blinken, your Secretary of State, said to France and Germany, get off of those Russian products. And they said no initially, and then they said yes, morally we must. Now, let me tell you what you're going to see on the 23rd and the 24th so you understand, because it is sort of complicated. You're going to see these leaders meet as a team. When we talk about sixth stimulus, it has many different levels. It has the team of 20 plus countries, approximately, the NATO allies, the G7 leaders, the European Union leaders. They may not agree as teams. Then we have the trifecta, Germany, France, United States. That's the one I'm really focusing on. Why? Because they're all progressives, and Macron, who is up for re-election in April, if he gets re-elected, this team would do it, potentially with UK also included, because we're very aligned with UK. That's why it's important for me to explain this to you. Then the next level would be the United States. The United States would do their version of it. And then guess what? Yes, your states would do their version. They've already talked about it. They're talking about a lot of packages locally in your states, like a gasoline tax holiday, where you wouldn't have to pay for tax on gasoline at the pump. Why is this important? Because you're going to hear things like, what happened with Hungary today? Yeah, Hungary said, we will veto anything if you try to get off all Russian products. We have to get Russian products. We have nothing ready to line up. So I don't want you to get confused, because it may look confusing. It's so confusing that I can't even remember. NATO, G7, European allies. There's a lot of different groups meet at the same time in just 2 days. And there you go. So what are the prongs of this that you need to know? First, gasoline. Gasoline got a great deal last Friday. Featured in prime time on Evenings LATE, which was the President of the United States got Iran to agree to 15 years of negotiations with a finalized deal. The finalized deal will put Iranian oil back in circulation, 500,000 barrels a day, growing to 1.3 million barrels a day later this year, starting in April to May and then growing by December, bringing the price of gasoline down the pump domestically to the lowest levels you've seen in 15 years, and more importantly, getting our partner allies like Germany and France an alternative, because they need to get off of Russian oil, as Vladimir Putin has threatened to turn off their oil, like Nord Stream 1 that funnels all the oil and supplies it all to Germany. So this is huge. This is the gasoline solution to sixth stimulus. Now, why is gasoline trading up? That's very problematic, and you saw it as a member last night. Gasoline is surging to its highest levels we have seen in nearly a week. As what? You would think you have a deal, the number would go down. It's very volatile. It's a lot of traders doing crazy things, so I don't want you to think too much of it. When the deal was announced, we were around like 107 right before that. We were at 96 last weekend. Then we're 118 last night. It's just insanely volatile. Don't think it's tied to whether the package is going to pass or not. It's just not. It's just traders. Then we have the wheat situation. Very bad. The wheat situation will be featured on Evenings LA tonight because it's hideously bad. We are dependent upon making sure that there's enough international production of wheat, not just enough domestics. Yeah, we have farmers here, but our farmers, their prices will go through the roof. Your bread will go through the roof, because guess what? There won't be enough bread. There won't be enough grain to make the bread internationally. And that's because it comes from, yes, the Black Sea, Ukraine and Russia. And so whatever we fix domestically, it's not going to solve the problem internationally. That's what's needed for sixth stimulus. The other part of sixth stimulus, of course, is the banking industry. We don't know that exposure, and we're going to feature it tonight on Evenings LATE in prime time. And finally, we do not know the situation about April 4th. That's when Vladimir Putin may likely default on a $2 billion debt repayment of principal, not interest. It's $2 billion. The March 16th interest payments he likely made, which was less than $100 million. This is $2 billion, and it's April 4th. And if he doesn't make it, guess what? It's bad news for everyone. It's worse than Vladimir Putin's economy falling into the state of a potential another Cuba. It's worse than Vladimir Putin falling his economy from 10th largest in the world to potentially, out of the top 25. This is something that can negatively impact us as well. Meantime, what is the China part of the equation? With the potential of China being asked to give money to Russia to undo the sanctions, and China not saying it won't. Boy, all the latest details on that in prime time. Plus, we'll be looking more at those third stimulus MSE checks that have now landed in the viewers' hands. We'll be looking at the fourth stimulus checks that have now landed in the viewers' hands. And then we'll be looking more over all these incredible provisions one at a time. It's America's most watched show in prime time. It's Evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I look to see you then. Stay informed, stay focused, stay informed, and stay here, and stay with LA for more.